What's up, everybody? Liv here. Welcome back to the channel. So listen, about 60% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So go ahead and subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so that you know when I present another video on YouTube. Thank you guys for supporting, and I appreciate you. So today we're going to get into my top unpopular 2A opinions. All right? This should be quite interesting. But before we do, this video was brought to you by Better Holsters. So I've been with Better Holsters for some time now, and I've spoken about Better Holsters way early on in my videos before they even reached out to me. And I love their holsters. My favorite holster is the light tuck holster, and they have a sundry of options. They have inside the waistband holsters, outside the waistband holsters. They have holsters for the range. They have EDC belts. They have mag holders. They have t-shirts, etc., etc. Made in America, 100% warranty. So listen, use my code 32icon for 10% off your entire order. And thank you, Better Holsters, for all that you do. All right, so boom, here we go. 10 unpopular 2A opinions. I have my notes here because I may forget. You guys know how I do. So number 1, buy that high point. All right, buy the high point if that's all you can afford. Don't let nobody tell you any differently. Don't let nobody talk you out of it. If that's all that you can afford, that's all that you can muster up, then go ahead and buy it and train with it and get the best ammo for it. And listen, it's better than nothing. All right. Number 2, don't touch my firearms when I'm making a purchase. All right. If I'm at the counter and I'm making a purchase, people have the tendency to come up and start playing with the firearm, looking at it, doing this and doing that. Now, if I'm debating on whether I want to buy the firearm or not, then great. Feel free to touch it, play with it, whatever you want to do. But once I decide that this is my firearm and I'm filling out the paperwork, I don't like when people do that. That's just my opinion. I think it's rude. I think it's invasive. Now, if they ask for permission, then yes, by all means. But a lot of times, people come up and they start touching when they probably should ask first. So, yeah, that's an unpopular opinion of mine. Please don't do it. Number 3, a .22 caliber firearm is better than a rock. So I know people say, hey, don't use a .22 for self-defense. It's not powerful enough, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then you have other people that talk about shot placement with a .22. The bottom line is, a .22 caliber firearm is better than a rock. So if that's all you have, if that's what you're comfortable shooting, if that's all you can afford, then sweetheart, use that .22 caliber to protect yourself, to train with, to do whatever you need. It is definitely better than a rock. Number 4. Some people like shortcuts in life, and there are a lot of YouTubers that try to team up with other YouTubers when they're first coming on because they don't want to put in the work to build their channel. So they'll try to piggyback on someone else who's already established, and they try to build their channel that way. They don't want to put in the hard work. So for me, I don't think it's every YouTuber. Obviously, and it's not just in the 2A community, it's YouTubers in general. There are some people who are just lazy and don't want to put in the work, and so they try to piggyback off other ones who are established by doing, videos with them, collaborations, lives, things of that nature, and it's a no bueno. So once you figure it out and you see what they're doing, it's obvious, and then I tend to turn away. So that's my spiel on that. Another unpopular 2A opinion is that there are a lot of misinformation out there from different YouTubers. Now, some people are learning, and so they're putting the information out there as it's disseminated to them. And then other people don't want to do the research, and they don't want to go back and look at resources and take the time to get their information correct before they spurt it out on their channel. And so because of that, there's a lot of misinformation, whether it's in finance, whether it's in technology, it could be the 2A community, et cetera, et cetera. There is a lot of information. However, on the flip side, there's a lot of good, solid resources on YouTube. A lot of things that I've learned have been on YouTube. So just make sure you disseminate between what's factual and what's fiction, or what's being said and then someone says facts at the end of it to legitimize it when in fact it's not facts at all. All right. Number 6, and this might get me in a little bit of trouble. My unpopular opinion is I believe manufacturers such as FN and CZ will be more popular amongst the masses if they had the same marketing as Glock. Okay. So we know that Glock has phenomenal marketing. I mean, you mention the word Glock to an average passerby and they'll know exactly what that is. They're like, oh, that's a firearm. You mention FN or CZ, they're like, I wonder what that is. So I believe that when new firearm owners go into the store and they're looking for a firearm, they mention Glock just because of the marketing, right? It's been embedded in their minds. It's been, it's all they know. So they mention Glock. Whereas I think if CZ and FN did a little more marketing, then the average person will probably go and look for that firearm when they decide to be a firearms owner. Because they'll hear it more, they'll see it more, and then they can find out about it and realize that, these ergos are really legit. The sights are good, better than Glock. And so my point is marketing. If CZ and FN did more marketing, I think they would be just as popular as Glock among the masses. So I know y'all probably like throwing tomatoes at me. That's okay, because these opinions might agree with some people and they may not agree with others, and that is okay. But nonetheless, they're my opinions. All right. Number 7, politicians who bash responsible gun ownership should not have armed bodyguards. Number 8, nonviolent offenders, I believe, should have their gun rights reinstated. So we're talking about white collar crimes here, right? Like money laundering, like tax evasion, things of that nature, right? We're not talking about violent crimes committed to human beings or animals or things like that. We're not talking about that. So I feel like if a crime was committed and you did your time in prison or what have you, paid your fine or what have you, then you still have the right to protect yourself, right? You still have the right to purchase a firearm and be able to defend yourself and your family. Or let's just say you're not trying to defend yourself or your family. Maybe you just want to go to the range, you want to shoot in competition, you want to have fun. You should be able to do that because you have not harmed anyone or any type of animals or anything like that. So listen, again, you're throwing tomatoes at the screen and that is okay. But I feel like those type of offenders should be able to have their rights restored. All right. Number 9, I believe the ATF should focus on the underground dissemination of firearms, illegal firearm sales, the revenue and resources that are getting firearms into our country, that is ruining our communities, right? The firearms that criminals are getting their hands on. I think that should be the focus of the firearms when it comes to that branch of the ATF, and less focus on braces versus stocks, less focus on ghost guns, less focused on a rifle should be 16 inches, anything less should be an SBR. Like, I think we're not focused on the right things, okay? We're not focused on what really matters because responsible firearm owners are doing what they're supposed to do. So I believe right now the focus is on little things that have nothing to do with nothing, instead of focusing on the criminals and how they're getting these firearms through underground means and other forms of distribution that sometimes we don't really talk about, because that's another little rabbit hole that we can go down. I'd rather not go down on this channel, but if you know, you know. Guns in the hood, all that other stuff, okay? So if you know, you know. And number 10, I'm actually going to leave it to you guys, okay? So I was going to say what it was, but I'm going to leave it for you. because I like the audience participation. I want you guys to tell me what your unpopular 2A opinion is, and fill in that number 10 spot. And also, if you agree with me or if you don't, what resonated with you, what doesn't, what did I forget? I might do another video like this. I'm not sure because a lot of tomatoes might be being thrown at this point, but that is okay. It is my opinion, and I might give some more later on. So anyway, Better Hostess, thank you for all that you do. Again, if you guys want to check out their website, it's betterhosters.com. Use 32 icon for 10% off. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you're doing well, treating one another with kindness, and I'll see you in the next video.